You know the OJ Simpson story. American hero beats the murder rap, then a civil jury says he did it, and then finally he serves a stretch in a Nevada prison for stealing his own stuff. But did you know the dirty little secret about how the Los Angeles County District Attorney blew the murder case? Today you'll learn how one colossal blunder turned a sure conviction into the world's most famous not guilty verdict. But first, about that stuff you already know. Yes, it starts with a remarkable football career with USC, then with the NFL. But here's a fun fact. If it weren't for baseball legend Willie Mays, OJ might have lived the life of an anonymous gangbanger. Simpson ran with a tough crowd as a teen and wound up in jail, but a coach who sensed his potential got Mays to visit OJ.
You're the TV guru guy.
Yes, Tony Robbins, pleased to meet you.
Yeah! Oh, man!
Tony Robbins has nothing on the Say Hey Kid. It worked for a while. In 1985, after retiring from football, he married Nicole Brown. But things didn't always go well.
You're going to hear him in a minute. He's about to come in again.
Okay, just stay on the line.
I don't want to stay on the line. He's going to beat the shit.
Wait a minute.
And in June 1994, she was murdered. And so a Heisman Trophy winner, a Monday Night Football announcer on ABC, and a thespian whose acting career was described by merciless critics as the personification of mediocrity, found himself a new job, defendant in a double murder case. If that wasn't bad enough, he occasionally had to put up with boring arguments by lawyers asking Judge Ito to keep the cameras rolling.
Today, cameras are in courtrooms in 47 states, but the controversy continues.
Mr. Hope, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Early on in the OJ Simpson trial, Judge Ito threatened to disbar cameras and held a special hearing.
Your Honor is correct to take into account the pulse of the public up to a point, but there are legal issues.
Good grief, that lawyer looks young. Of course, OJ assembled a dream team of lawyers. And Simpson's dream came true.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
Now, some on his legal team didn't seem too happy. Take another look at the face of Robert Kardashian, patriarch of a rather famous family.
OJ Simpson left, now clearly identified by this jury as the killer.
OJ's luck ran out in the civil trial for wrongful death. The Santa Monica jury voted unanimously to find him responsible for the murders. And so, after batting 500, one big trial win and one big loss, Simpson embarked on a life consisting of a search for the real killer on the golf course, and a decade of friendly encounters with citizens suffering from double murder amnesia. Until one day in Las Vegas, Simpson suffered a rare lapse in judgment when he decided that to make sure he got his football memorabilia back, he'd bring with him an armed posse of muscle to a hotel room. Oops, off to prison for 9 years for stealing his own stuff. Paroled in 2017, he found himself back on the street for 7 more years of selfies with the clueless, followed by his passing in 2024. And now it's time to zero in on that dirty little secret about how the DA blew the Simpson murder trial. For starters, we need a quick geography lesson. The murders happened on the west side of town in Brentwood, just 4 miles from the Santa Monica courthouse. 15 miles east is the downtown L.A. Criminal Courts building, housing the DA's office and Judge Ito's courtroom. The commute for the DA's trial lawyers was a 60-second elevator ride. And exactly why the trial wound up being held in downtown instead of West L.A. is an almost unbelievable tale of arrogance and incompetence. The DA's blunders were amazing when you consider the office badly needed a big win. They'd lost the Rodney King beating case, and America's biggest riot of the 20th century resulted. And just 7 months before the murders, the DA failed to convict either Lyle or Eric Menendez. The juries were hung, even though the brothers admitted shotgunning their parents. You wouldn't need a crystal ball to know it'd be much tougher to convict Simpson with a downtown LA jury than a Santa Monica panel. So, with the DA desperately needing a win, why did he choose to try the case in downtown LA instead of where the crime happened, West Los Angeles? The site of the murders, Brentwood, is part of the Santa Monica Court District. In her book about the Simpson trial, Without a Doubt, lead prosecutor Marcia Clark vehemently rejected the criticism of her boss for picking the downtown LA venue. She made 2 points. First, she said the court had a firm policy. If a trial's going to last over 4 weeks, it has to be in downtown LA. Wrong. There was no such rule. Charles Manson prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi, in his book about the Simpson trial, confirmed the absence of such a requirement. Further proof is provided by the Menendez brothers trial, lasting 5 months. It was held in the suburb of Van Nuys, not downtown. Clark's second reason for trying the case in downtown? Why, it would have been seen as racist to pick a court district that was whiter than downtown LA. Really? Would anybody have complained about trying the case in the courthouse right next door to where the murders happened? I recently spoke to Marcia on our podcast and asked her, why not a Santa Monica trial? She gave yet a third reason the case proceeded in downtown LA.
What about holding the trial in West Los Angeles?
We never could have had the trial in Santa Monica, period. It wasn't safe. It was not secure. It had none of the trappings that are needed for a high-profile case like that. In fact, prisoners were escaping. The bus would pull up, and there was security, and they'd run to the beach.
Really? The chance OJ would bolt for the beach was why the DA chose LA? Clark still insists the daily 60-second elevator ride was the right way to go.
I really don't want to talk about it.
Oh my God!
Bugliosi addressed this issue and concluded the Santa Monica courthouse could have easily handled the media crush and security issues. And if holding a trial with gobs of security demands was impossible in Santa Monica, well, gee, how is it the very next year the Simpson civil wrongful death trial was held in, wait for it, the Santa Monica courthouse? The year after the murder trial, the civil trial lasted nearly 4 months. Simpson was great at running, but he never once tried to head for the Santa Monica beach. But it gets worse. Garcetti claimed there was a court rule that if you started a case by seeking an indictment from a grand jury, you had to try it in downtown. Wrong. There was no such policy. How much difference would a West LA jury have made? Well, here's the tale of the tape. A downtown LA jury found Simpson not guilty, 12-0. A Santa Monica jury found him liable for killing Ron and Nicole, 12-0. It's hard to believe that's explained by the different standards of proof beyond a reasonable doubt in the criminal case and by a preponderance of the evidence in the civil case. So let's cut through the clutter and focus on the real reasons the DA tried the case in downtown LA. With Simpson's blood all over the murder scene and the victim's blood on his clothes, in his car, and in his house, the DA thought he could win in front of any jury. So the first reason to stay downtown was overconfidence. Well, we know how that worked out. Reason number 2, convenience, big time. The DA and all his trial team were just that 1-minute elevator ride away from Judge Ito's courtroom. The trip to the Santa Monica courthouse could take an hour or more, every morning and every afternoon for 9 months. Lather, rinse, repeat. Finally, there was D.A. Gil Garcetti's political career. He was convinced some voters would call him a racist for trying the Simpson case, well, you know, where the crime happened. He thought he'd be vilified as shopping for a racist white jury. And there was a lot at stake, since every L.A. County DA looks in the mirror and sees the next California governor. Even unfounded claims of racism can get in the way of political ambitions. Are we being too hard on Garcetti? Not according to his successor in the DA's job, Steve Cooley. He says Garcetti wanted a diverse jury to convict Simpson.
Gil Garcetti wanted to have what I call a rainbow jury to convict OJ Simpson, because that would be an even greater verdict, a greater win, a greater conviction than having a predominantly white jury that would be likely chosen in the West District.
What about the idea that if a case is going to last over a month, it has to be in downtown?
I don't buy that one. Long jury trials are routinely handled in branch courts.
In fact, according to Cooley, California law said the proper location for a trial is where the crime happened.
A case should be filed in the district where the victimization occurred.
Finally, was Garcetti overconfident about the trial's outcome?
I think there probably was a sense, based upon the evidence against O.J. Simpson, that you could win this case anywhere.
The Simpson case had an impact on a lot of people. Ron and Nicole's lives were snuffed out. Families were traumatized. Perceptions of the bench were changed forever. Some ultra-famous lawyers guaranteed the words "Dream Team" would appear in their obituaries. And comedian Norm Macdonald lost his Saturday Night Live job.
In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
It seems his boss at NBC was a pal of O.J.'s who didn't appreciate Norm's humor. So yes, you did know a lot about the Simpson saga, an American hero who turned into an international pariah. But now you know there was another villain in the drama. D.A. Gil Garcetti didn't kill anybody, but his utter lack of judgment allowed a double murderer to go free, at least for 14 years. For Too Many Lawyers, I'm Royal Oakes.